Welcome as KCAL News celebrates Disability Pride Month. I'm Juan Fernandez. This month is all about recognizing historic experiences and achievements of those in the disability community. Why does this happen in July? Well, that's because July marks the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which was passed in July of 1990. This civil rights law prohibits discrimination based on a disability. And so, over the next half hour, we are going to feature people and services that are creating space and visibility for those in these communities. Let's kick things off with a local DJ who can teach us all a lesson on self-love, a positive attitude, and determination. KCAL's Rudabe Shabazi introduces us to Johnny Muñoz.
Slick Rick, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Dogg, Snoop Dogg.
DJ Johnny Muñoz favors West Coast rap.
What's your favorite part about just the experience of DJing?
Showing the world that no matter what you do, no matter what type of disability you have, you're blind, you're in a wheelchair, no matter what, you can just do anything you put your mind to.
To the delight of his fans, he's also a mariachi performer, singer, and guitar player, after a professor at Cal Poly and fellow students took him under their wing.
I've done solo, I've done mariachi bands. They lose it when I perform. They're like, oh my God, he's blind, how's he gonna play? You know, because they go in with the mentality of like, he's not gonna be able to do this. You know, people do that all the time. And I love those people. I love those people who judge. Don't judge a book by its cover. When your lights don't work like they used to before.
His will to take on any challenge started at birth, when his mother, a janitor, introduced him to the world.
She did what she had to do, you know. She threw me on her back and was like cleaning everything and having like my hand over her so that way I can feel her like movements as a kid and things like that. So she didn't treat me like me being blind. She treated me like a normal child. You know, one thing I always tell people is like, try to treat your kid as normal as you can get. You know, encourage them to do something, encourage them to like get out there.
I was about 4 or 5 when I realized he was blind. You know, people would look at us and I would always wonder why. And then I realized, you know, oh man, my brother's blind, you know, but that didn't stop him from anything. He's Johnny. We treated him the same way we would treat my other brothers.
Albert is one of Johnny's 7 siblings, buoying the challenges he constantly takes on, including a twin sister who was also born with poor vision, but corrected it through surgery and is now a biochemistry PhD candidate.
Johnny does it all. He goes rock climbing, skydiving, rides his bike from time to time. You know, he's not your average blind kid.
Albert even helps Johnny throw massive parties for the visually impaired, harnessing the power of social media.
When he said, hey, I'm throwing a party, I didn't think like they would all be blind, you know? So when they started showing up one by one, I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey, Johnny, how many people did you invite? And he's like, a couple hundred. And I'm like, what? It just blew my mind, you know? The whole backyard was filled up. They all had talent, from rapping to singing.
Johnny's now working on his degree in psychology and wants to become a mentor for the visually impaired. His zest for life and constant drive to teach others not to let their disability limit them.
Everyone has a disability. Sometimes we don't know about it.
Yeah, everyone's struggling with something.
Yeah, right? We all are, no matter what. We all are struggling with anything. But sometimes we're too afraid to come out. We're too afraid to get support. We're too afraid to tell people about it. Found love right where we are.
Johnny's talents aren't just reserved for music. He's also known for lending a supportive hand. The DJ helps other visually impaired friends and even strangers seek new adventures, giving them the confidence and the support to meet other people and try new things, which is why Rudabe wanted to do something special for Johnny. She took him to meet one of his idols, iconic LA DJ Big Boy. Take a look.
All right, Johnny, so what do you think?
It's awesome.
Where do you think we are?
Studio, let's get it!
What studio?
CBS.
We're going in the little doorway right here, okay? All right. Should we sit you down? And I want to introduce you to someone.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your partner, Big Boy! Big Boy's neighborhood up in here. Been dope. Hello.
Awesome.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm good.
Man, it is a pleasure to have you in the neighborhood, my brother. How long you been DJing, bro?
I've been DJing DJ for like 10 years, man.
10 years?
Yeah.
What's the genre? Do you play everything?
Hey, Snoop Dogg, baby, Pac, you name all the rappers.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Thank
I've always
you.
wanted to meet Louis G, man. It's crazy.
Hey, man, Louis G is right over here. Say what's happening to him, man. Slap them hands up, man. Go ahead now. Yeah. What's up?
You know what I've always wanted to do, Big?
What's that?
You gotta play a so sick instrumental, man. I gotta sing to you first.
Oh, really though?
From your head to your toes, out of control, baby, you know.
If I was your man, come on, man.
What I do, I'll be coming home
Back to you every night.
doing you right.
Rudabeh Shabazi, KCAL News.
Talk about talent, he's got it. Now we're going from music to food, changing the narrative one pie at a time. A local pizza shop is revolutionizing accessibility for those in the deaf community. KCAL's Uzdelia Caballero takes us inside.
This is our classic margarita.
At first glance, this may look like just another pizza place, but if you look closely, you'll quickly see the difference.
Hi, my name is Melody Stein, and this is my name sign. Hi, my name is Tasha Stein, and I'm her daughter, and I'm going to be interpreting as well.
Tasha Stein says she and her brother Rylan have grown up seeing secondhand the challenges their deaf parents face every day, which is why together as a family they created.
We're at Piowa. We're deaf and CODA owned as well. These are our brand new labels. A lot of people might not know what CODA stands for, and CODA stands for Child of Deaf Adult. And we like to emphasize as well Asian owned and women owned.
Most of the menu right now is my mom's work, but it's nice to kind of be like an apprentice to my mother, who studied in Italy for this.
Rylan says their parents have overcome many hardships to be where they are today.
It can be simple things from just like communication barriers to even people just like not believing in them, which is actually a lot more than you would think, and it can really affect somebody.
And so as a family, they decided they wanted to create a business built on accessibility for the deaf community.
Yes, when I founded this business, I knew how hard it was to find a job because I was in the same boat with many other deaf people trying to find jobs, sending applications, and many people not giving me a chance for an interview.
Now, through Piowa, she's able to give jobs to people in the deaf community no matter their experience. Jordi Morales tells us he's thankful to work here, adding he lost his hearing at only 2 years old.
This place is really important to me because of the communication access. As a deaf person, it's really cool that way I have everything I need to be able to communicate, and not only just that, I've also grown a lot.
And so has Piowa, selling fresh and frozen pizzas at their ghost kitchen, pop-up markets, and even in specialty stores across LA. Serving up Asian-inspired Neapolitan pizza, which blends Melody's roots from Hong Kong and Russ's upbringing in New York. They've certainly come a long way since becoming the first deaf professional pizza makers in 2014.
You can learn some sign language while you're eating. Deaf people can take on the same jobs that hearing people can do as well.
It's just cool to be in an environment where there's a lot of like-minded people.
And they hope to one day sell their pizza and their signature spicy chili crunch nationwide in an effort to continue to spread awareness and employ those in the deaf community. Reporting in Larchmont, Lustelia Caballero, KCAL News.
What an incredible story of perseverance. Well, that resilience is something everyone we are profiling today shares. That is definitely the case right now in our next story. A SoCal nonprofit is pushing for more equality for adaptive skateboarders, and that includes equal pay and a spot in the Paralympics and the Olympics. KCAL reporter Elise Martinez shows us what these athletes can do.
At first glance, you might not notice anything special about pro skateboarder Coco Atema. But Atema is blind. He feels his way around the skate park in Venice before he drops in to the bowl. All he can rely on are his talents and his sixth sense.
You tap it, you feel it, and you send it.
For Atema, blindness is not a weakness. It's a superpower.
Someone out there may not know that this is an option for them until it gets put on a wider scale. And that will push them to realize, wait a second, I can do this.
Atema wants to bring more attention to adaptive skateboarding. That's also the goal for the Poseidon Foundation, a nonprofit working to level the playing field for these athletes since 2008.
We want equal pay for adaptive skaters because they're just as talented as able-bodied skaters.
In addition to equal prize money for competing, Poseidon founder Michaela Ramirez-Guerin wants to see these athletes in the Olympics and Paralympics in Paris in 2024, and when the Olympics come to LA in 2028.
If we can't show children what they're capable of doing, then who will?
Right now, both goals seem unattainable, as the path to equality has been paved with roadblocks. And no one knows more about overcoming obstacles than Kanya Sesser. Sesser was born without legs and was abandoned on the side of the road near her native Thailand.
Look where I am now. Like, I'm either dead or alive, and I chose life, and I am here just killing it.
Sesser and Atema are stars on social media and at local skate parks, where they show up and show out alongside their peers. Both know there's a long way to go when it comes to parity in their sport. They are content with the progress they've made for now, but will keep grinding towards a better tomorrow. In Venice, Elise Martinez, KCAL News.
When we come back, we head to Long Beach, where a special needs trailer is creating space for those in need. We will also meet a paraplegic veteran who has forever changed helicopter flying. Welcome back to KCAL News celebrates Disability Pride Month. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, more than 4 million Californians have a disability, but their current employment rate in the state is minimal. As of last year, only about 22% of people with a disability had a job. Our Joy Benedict introduces us to an organization hoping to increase those numbers.
First thing you do when you're going to power up the machine, just let us know.
It may seem simple, but learning to operate a CNC machine is no easy task.
I press reset twice.
It's something Malik Morgan has been training for months.
I'm pretty good with hands on, and I'm pretty good at building stuff.
But this 20-year-old admits not everything has been easy for him.
I have autism since the age of 4.
After graduating high school, he wanted to do more, and through the help of the State Department of Rehabilitation and the Institute for Workplace Skills and Innovation, he ended up here at the Machinist Career College in Santa Fe Springs.
I showed this to my dad yesterday, and he said he's proud of me because I did something like this.
Program leaders are proud of the help they're providing to people with disabilities.
11 graduates who've all been placed with employers and are doing really well in their newfound love of machining.
Danielle Skinner is the president of the college, and she says she's happy to have people like Morgan in her classes.
Thank God for places like IWSI and the like who see their capabilities, see that they're able to work in real-world jobs.
IWSI just finished an introductory program with the state and the healthcare industry and has now expanded its program to train those with physical or mental disabilities in Southern California to be machinists, bookkeepers, and massage therapists.
We have the massage therapist, which is mostly aimed for visually impaired individuals. The CNC machinist program, which is also aimed for those individuals that have autism, because it's so good with repetitive motions.
Alexandra Mendoza is the workforce industry liaison who helps create work training programs and apprenticeships for those wanting to work.
We are at 25. We're expanding. I just opened an IT apprenticeship.
Learning the skills and then getting real working experience that can lead to a job.
That way whenever I get paid, I help Dad with some of the bills.
Something that would mean the world to this young man. A little income and a feeling of belonging in a world that isn't always inclusive. Joy Benedict, KCAL News.
The sky's the limit for Malik. And speaking of skies, a paraplegic veteran is breaking barriers and making history. Stuart McQuillan is a veteran of the Royal Air Force, and he even had a short tour with the U.S. Air Force. Now he's on a mission to show other disabled veterans that anything is possible. Our Chris Holmstrom has his story.
How do we operate the pedals when you can't use your legs?
An FAA-approved mechanism that enables paraplegics to fly.
So the pilot will strap into this. It has ankle and knee movement, so it will work just like a real limb, and it will push the pedals for you.
From there, he did a short tour of duty as a senior airspace officer at the Air Force Academy. He even started a nonprofit with 2 other military leaders. It's called the National Veterans Vocational Village Foundation, or NV3.
It's about giving a new lease of life to the vets, and we expose them to what can be done. That's our key role: encourage and expose.
Now he's on a mission to set another record, to become the first paralyzed vet to travel the earth and visit every VA facility in the country.
And hopefully, if they see me get out of the helicopter into my wheelchair, it'll inspire hope for them.
Along with inspiring, McQuillan hopes to raise awareness on veteran suicide and show vets that resources are available. Resources that give veterans a sense of community and purpose. Chris Holmstrom, KCAL News.
Stuart is a true inspiration for our country. All right, let's move out to a story out of Long Beach. An emergency can shake you up and make you feel uneasy. Those feelings can be amplified for people with sensory issues. And now the city has a way to help. KCAL News reporter Jeff Nguyen shows us how it works.
Being able to spin this is fun. I find it very soothing.
Mackenzie Strubick has cerebral palsy and ADHD. She's also an accessibility advocate for the city of Long Beach, which has rolled out the Sensory Area for Everyone trailer.
Sometimes people have a lot of kinetic energy that they need to get out and don't really know what to do. And so using their hands can really help.
The $34,000 vehicle, funded through a federal grant, will help provide access to services during emergencies that may require people to be sheltered.
Shelter situations can be really overwhelming. There's a lot of people, there's a lot going on, people are stressed out.
I have a disability that makes it hard to understand me.
Kim Vong uses an augmented communication device. She also works for the city as an accessibility advocate.
Part of my job at the health department is to look to see if places are accessible for everyone when it comes to emergencies.
Kim really likes these LED tubes with bubbles that produce white noise.
Either jump on it.
There are beanbags and this light panel.
What does this wall do?
So the wall is, it provides a tactile stimulation, visual stimulation.
The ultimate goal here, providing visual and tactile stimulation when life becomes overwhelming, which Mackenzie Strubick knows all too well.
Being disabled is stressful. There's so many things going on all the time.
No matter how hard things may get, the hope is people don't have to suffer in silence. In Long Beach, Jeff Nguyen, KCAL News.
All right, don't go away. After the break, we will meet a Girl Scout troop who has created a safe space for those in the deaf community. Then we'll put on our dancing shoes and head to Westminster, where the art of dance is helping many feel seen. Thank you for joining us as we continue our celebration of Disability Pride Month. A group of Orange County girls is finding confidence and community in the Girl Scouts. What makes their troop so unique is the way they communicate. KCAL News reporter Rena Nakano introduces us to Troop 8542.
Jana Rovniak loves raising her daughters Rhea and Abby. She's just like any other mom, but there's one difference.
I am hard of hearing, and so my girls, they are hard of hearing as well.
Growing up, she says the hearing loss didn't bother her. She didn't notice she was missing out on much until she became a parent.
Why am I the only one with hearing aids? It's actually something she said to me one day, and it really broke my heart.
So as a mom, she made it her mission to find an inclusive place for her deaf and hard of hearing, or DHH kids.
In the moms groups, it's anyone posting about deaf and hard of hearing children. We cannot be the only ones in Orange County.
Nothing really came to fruition until one day during the pandemic, she found a post about a local teen trying to start a Girl Scout troop for the American Sign Language, or ASL community.
This is amazing. This would be great. What is it? How do I get involved?
The idea came from Natalie Westfall.
I'm a deaf studies major with a concentration in American Sign Language interpreting.
Westfall had been a Girl Scout for her entire childhood. In middle school, she discovered ASL. So for her Gold Award, or final project before graduating from the Girl Scouts, she decided to combine her passions to create Troop 8542.
It was a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of visual interpreters.
What started out as a 3-member troop during the pandemic quickly grew thanks to word of sign.
This is like when we went on a hike.
There are now 13 girls in the troop.
What about this one? It's sign language. Can you do sign language?
Mm-hmm. Some are deaf and only sign. Some have cochlear implants. Others are CODA, or children of deaf adults. Through community service projects and field trips, the girls connect on a deeper level.
Very, very, very soft.
Without having to explain themselves, they can be themselves.
I think what this does is it helps them with their confidence that they're not alone.
You're gonna draw a goat.
Westfall is now in college and has since passed the torch along to the troop's leaders.
Whether it means in 20 years from now, I see their own kids who may identify as deaf continue on the troop. I just hope and pray that this troop continues on.
As for Ovniak, she's just happy to see her children grow in a loving and inclusive environment where kids can just be kids.
At the end of the day, we're deaf and hard of hearing people. We live normal everyday lives, just with a hearing difference.
In San Juan Capistrano, I'm Rena Nakano, KCAL News.
The art of dance is providing a special window to the world for people with disabilities. KCAL's Elise Martinez shows us how Free to Be Me dance is changing lives.
Okay, dancers, are you ready?
Hip-hop instructor Jason DeRoast gets his dancers into formation. They're finessing their moves for an upcoming performance. It's serious business, but it's also fun. Nia Francis has been with Free to Be Me Dance for 15 years.
My favorite dance is hip-hop, tap, and ballet.
And Nia shows off every chance she gets. Valina Kofler has been dancing for 4 years. You can see just how much she loves it.
I was born to become a star.
But soon, Valina and Nia may not have a place to express themselves. Free to Be Me Dance nonprofit offers classes to people with disabilities who are often excluded from the arts. But now the nonprofit is fighting to stay on its feet. A lack of funds could force the organization to shut down as grant funding and donations are at an all-time low.
Our program found itself in a difficult financial situation because we have more dancers than ever and we don't have a home studio.
The nonprofit doesn't turn away students who can't afford lessons. 70% of their dancers are on a scholarship. Parents drive the dancers from all over SoCal to practice at various studios. And you can see why they make all that effort for their kids.
It's a joy to dance my heart and hear how I feel.
After hip-hop, dancers change into ballet shoes and practice for another performance. Free to Be Me Dance has launched an emergency GoFundMe to raise money to keep their dancers in motion, saying everyone deserves the chance to dance. Elise Martinez, KCAL News.
And we're happy to share that they have since received the money they needed to continue to dance, but they are always looking for additional support. Thank you so much for joining us as KCAL News celebrates Disability Pride Month. I'm Juan Fernandez. Until next time.